Write in scientific notation. Looking at number 1, you see that this problem is written in the form of a number times 10 to a power, but the first number does not meet the qualifications for scientific notation. This first number has to be greater than or equal to 1 and less than 10. Therefore, I must move this decimal to be behind the first non-zero digit, which is 2. So, from the original problem, I will need to move this decimal 2 places to the right. Now, if you move your decimal 2 places to the right, you have to subtract 2 from the exponent. So now I have 2.4 times 10 to the negative 5 minus 2 is negative 7. So now this is the correct answer for number 1. It is now in scientific notation. Looking at number 2. This problem is not in scientific notation. The decimal must be behind the first non-zero digit. This number is not less than 10. It is greater than 10. So I must put my decimal behind the first non-zero digit. So in order to move it behind the first non-zero digit, I will move it to the left 1 decimal place. So now I have 2.45 times. Now if you move your decimal 1 place to the left, you must add to the original exponent. 3 plus 1. I had to move it to the left 1, therefore you add 1 to the exponent. Therefore you have times 10 to the 3 plus 1 gives you 4. So now number 2 is in scientific notation. So remember, if you move your decimal to the right, you have to subtract from the exponent. If you move your decimal to the left, you must add to the exponent. Looking back, number 1, I moved it to the right 2 places, so I subtracted 2 from the original exponent. Here, I moved the decimal 1 place to the left. I added 1 to the exponent of the original exponent. Looking at number 3, I have 0.261 times 10 to the third. Now, my decimal must be behind the first non-zero digit, so I need to move it 1 place to the right. So now it's behind the 2, 2.61 times 10. Now, if I move it to the right 1 place, if you move it to the right, you must subtract an exponent. So I must say 3 minus 1 would give me 3 minus 1 is 2. So here's the scientific notation for number 3. And then number 4. 45 times 10 to the negative 2. This number is not in scientific notation. The decimal must be behind the 4. Right now it's understood to be behind the 5. So if my decimal is here, I need to move it to the left 1 decimal place. So I have 4.5 times 10 to a power. Now if I moved the original decimal to the left 1, moving to the left says we must add 1 to the exponent. So if I move to the left 1, add 1 to the exponent. So if you add 1, negative 2 plus 1 gives you negative 1. So there's your final answer in scientific notation for number 4. Again, I moved my decimal to the left 1, so I had to add 1 to the exponent. So now I have 4.5 times 10 to the negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. So your final answer is 4.5 times 10 to the negative 1.